The shatter of glass echoed through the silent Seattle suburb like a gunshot in the dead of night. Alex's heart slammed against his ribs as he bolted upright in bed, the remnants of a nightmare fading into real terror. He'd moved to this rain-soaked corner of Washington just a month ago, fleeing the wreckage of a life in Chicago where his ex-boyfriend's betrayal had ripped everything apart, outing him to his conservative family, who responded with venomous condemnation, calling him an abomination and cutting him off forever. Now at 28, alone in a house that still felt like a stranger's, he grabbed his phone with trembling hands. Was this another cruel twist from his past, or something worse? Footsteps crunched outside his window, deliberate and close. No time to second guess. He dialed 911, whispering urgently into the void, praying help would come before the intruder did. But as sirens wailed faintly in the distance, Alex wondered if safety was even possible for someone like him, always hiding, always fighting just to exist. I'd only been in the house for 3 weeks, a fresh start in Elmwood, Illinois, a sleepy suburb where everyone minded their business, or so I thought. After my ex, Mark, betrayed me by outing me to my conservative family during our breakup, I needed escape. They called me an abomination, cut me off completely. The pain lingered, making every shadow suspicious, every unexpected sound a potential threat from the past I couldn't outrun. That night the scratching started, soft, insistent, like nails testing glass. I froze, tea mug in hand, heart racing violently. It wasn't wind, it felt targeted, deliberate, like the hate mail I'd gotten back home. I grabbed my phone with trembling fingers and dialed 911, voice shaking uncontrollably. I think someone's trying to break in, scratching at the window. Please hurry, I'm alone and terrified. The operator took my details calmly, promising a unit would arrive soon. I crouched behind the kitchen counter, phone clutched tight against my chest. Memories flooded back unbidden, Mark's cold confession, I can't hide anymore, but you shouldn't either, before maliciously leaking our most intimate texts. My parents' brutal rejection, you're no son of ours anymore. The isolation hit me like a physical blow to the chest. A firm knock echoed through the house, official, authoritative. Police, anyone inside? Through the peephole, a uniformed man stood there, badge shining under the porch light. I opened the door cautiously, chain still attached, studying his face. You reported a possible break-in. His voice was steady, professionally reassuring in the darkness. He was handsome in that rugged, small-town way, dark hair, strong jawline, kind eyes that seemed to actually see me. Yeah, scratching sounds at first, then movement at the back door. Didn't see anyone, though. He nodded seriously. I'm Officer Ryan Thompson. I'll check the perimeter outside thoroughly, stay inside, keep everything locked up tight. He vanished into the dark yard, flashlight beam dancing. I locked the door immediately, tension easing slightly for the first time. For the first time since the move, I wasn't utterly alone in this nightmare. He returned several minutes later, slightly out of breath. No one out there now, but there are definite signs of tampering, fresh scratches on the window frame. Mind if I do a complete check inside the house? Please do. He swept through methodically, checking locks, windows, and dark corners. His presence felt solid, protective, not intrusive or threatening. I found myself watching the way he moved, confident, careful. All clear inside. You live alone here? Yeah, just moved here recently after a really bad breakup situation that got complicated. He studied my face carefully, and I felt exposed under his gaze. You okay? You seem shaken beyond just tonight's incident. There's something else bothering you. I hesitated, then decided on honesty. It's more than just tonight. My ex outed me maliciously. Family completely disowned me. I thought this town would be safer, but maybe nowhere is. His expression softened noticeably, something shifting in his eyes. I'm really sorry to hear that. That sounds incredibly rough to deal with alone. He paused thoughtfully. My shift's ending soon. I can stay around a bit longer if it would help you feel safer. Sometimes having someone around helps. Really, I'd honestly appreciate that more than you know. I haven't felt safe in weeks. We moved to the kitchen together. Want some tea? I was making some when the scratching started. Sure, black is fine. As the kettle heated, he loosened his collar slightly, and I caught myself watching his throat as he spoke. Nights like this remind me of my own personal stuff. Family expectations, job pressures. Being a cop in a small conservative town means constantly hiding significant parts of yourself from everyone. I poured the steaming tea carefully, our fingers brushing as I handed him the mug. Hiding, like what specifically? He sighed deeply, meeting my eyes directly. I'm gay, but completely closeted. Dad's a retired police chief, he'd never accept it. Colleagues constantly joke about those types. It's absolutely exhausting pretending to be someone you're not every single day. The admission hung heavy between us, charged with vulnerability. I completely get it. My family quoted Bible verses while literally kicking me out of their house. We sipped in meaningful silence, the shared understanding bridging our gap. Thunder rumbled ominously outside, rain beginning to patter. The lights flickered once, then died completely, plunging us into darkness. "Power outage," I muttered, "just perfect." Ryan lit his flashlight immediately. "Got any candles anywhere?" We found several, their warm glow casting intimate dancing shadows across our faces. This town's generally quiet, but not always kind to outsiders or anyone different. You learn to hide. As we settled on the floor with soft blankets, the storm intensified dramatically outside. In the candlelight, Ryan looked different, softer, more vulnerable. "Tell me more about your ex," he said gently. "Mark promised forever, then betrayed me completely to save his own reputation. Unrequited love hurts worst when it's deliberately weaponized against you by someone you trusted completely." Ryan nodded understanding, his hand resting near mine on the blanket. "I've had crushes on guys before, but never acted on anything. Fear of condemnation keeps me completely locked away from any real connection." Our hands brushed accidentally, then lingered meaningfully, neither pulling away. The tension built steadily, not fear this time, but genuine human connection forming in the flickering candlelight between two souls who understood each other's pain. The candlelight flickered hypnotically, shadows dancing as rain pounded the roof relentlessly. Ryan had removed his police jacket, sitting in just his uniform shirt, sleeves rolled up. I couldn't help noticing the strength in his forearms, the way the fabric stretched across his chest. Ryan's personal story unfolded gradually. Growing up in conservative Elmwood, son of a strict police officer, he had suppressed his true feelings from an early age with painful dedication. High school crushes on teammates, I buried them so deep I almost convinced myself they weren't real. Joined the police force specifically to prove I'm normal and masculine enough. But it constantly eats at you inside, pretending to be attracted to women when your eyes follow men instead. I shared my own difficult path openly, feeling drawn to his honesty. College represented freedom, met Mark there, thought we had absolutely everything together. First real relationship, first time I felt truly wanted. But when things turned sour, he outed me to my parents purely for revenge. They called it a sinful phase first, then a disgusting lifestyle choice. Haven't spoken to them since that awful day. "Society's judgment can be absolutely brutal," Ryan said thoughtfully, his voice dropping lower. "Even here in small-town America, folks constantly whisper about the gay agenda destroying traditional families. Makes genuine self-acceptance feel completely impossible most days." We moved to the comfortable couch for warmth, sharing soft blankets. His close proximity felt electric but wonderfully safe. I could smell his cologne, feel the warmth radiating from his body. "You ever feel like you're constantly fighting against yourself every day?" I asked quietly. "Every single day without fail. Want desperately to be open and honest about who I am, but risk losing absolutely everything. Job security, family relationships, social standing, everything I've built." His thigh pressed against mine under the blanket. A tremendous thunderclap shook the entire house violently. I leaned closer instinctively for comfort, our shoulders touching. Our eyes met directly, raw vulnerability exposed completely in the candlelight. "Tonight, sitting here with you, I finally feel truly seen for who I really am," he whispered softly, his breath warm against my cheek. "Me too, completely." My hand found his naturally, fingers intertwining gently. It wasn't rushed or desperate, it felt honest and right and inevitable. He squeezed gently, a silent acknowledgement of understanding and something deeper building between us. We talked continuously through the long night, dreams deferred indefinitely, harmful stereotypes constantly battled, the loneliness of hiding our true selves. "People automatically think gay men are either weak and effeminate or predatory and dangerous," I said bitterly, "but we're just human beings wanting love and acceptance and connection." Ryan agreed wholeheartedly, his thumb tracing small circles on my palm. "The daily struggle is absolutely real and exhausting, but moments like this tonight, they give me genuine hope for something better." As dawn slowly approached, exhaustion finally set in. We dozed peacefully side by side, his arm around my shoulders, my head resting against his chest. I could feel his heartbeat, steady and reassuring. No more words were needed. The bond had formed naturally in shared pain and growing attraction. Morning light filtered in gently. I woke first, studying Ryan's peaceful face in sleep, the strong jawline softened, dark eyelashes against his cheeks. He stirred slowly, smiling sleepily when he found me watching. "Hey there, beautiful." The endearment made my heart race. "Hey yourself, want some coffee?" "Please, that sounds perfect." In the kitchen, we prepared breakfast together, scrambled eggs, buttered toast. He stood close behind me as I cooked, his hand briefly touching my lower back. The domestic intimacy felt surreal after the night's emotional intensity. Over food, conversation flowed naturally, charged with new awareness. Last night was completely unexpected, he said thoughtfully, his foot brushing mine under the table. But incredibly good. First time I've opened up completely since Mark's betrayal. First time I've felt attracted to someone again. He nodded seriously, color rising in his cheeks. Me too, absolutely. Feels like a tremendous weight has been lifted, like I can finally breathe. We decided on a morning walk to clear our heads. The suburb glistened beautifully post-storm, air fresh and clean. As we strolled casually, our hands occasionally brushed, tension from the night gradually transforming into something warmer. But then, angry voices ahead, two local men, Ryan's old acquaintances, spotted us together walking closely. Thompson, who the hell is this guy? One sneered, eyeing our obvious closeness suspiciously, the way we unconsciously leaned toward each other. Just a friend, Ryan said firmly, but I heard the strain in his voice, saw him step slightly away from me. The other laughed mockingly. Friend, looks pretty damn cozy to me the way you two are walking. Didn't know you swung that way, officer. My stomach twisted painfully, terrible echoes of past condemnation and rejection flooding back. Ryan tensed visibly beside me, jaw clenching. Back off immediately. It's absolutely none of your damn business. They muttered disgusting slurs under their breath, walking away smugly. The encounter stung deeply, highlighting our ongoing fight against ignorant stereotypes and the reality of living openly. Ignore those assholes, Ryan said, but his voice shook with anger and hurt. That's exactly the kind of hate we face daily here. It hurts, though, deeply, reminds me painfully of family rejection and why I'm so afraid of getting close to someone again. He stopped walking, facing me directly, reaching for my hand. I'm completely tired of hiding who I am. Last night showed me I can be myself authentically with you. The walk turned increasingly somber after the ugly confrontation, but Ryan's hand remained firmly in mine, a quiet act of defiance. Those guys, I've known them since high school, Ryan said bitterly. Their homophobic jokes always cut deep, but I laughed along to fit in, to be accepted. It's the unrequited acceptance we desperately crave, I replied thoughtfully, squeezing his fingers. From family, from society. My parents' harsh condemnation completely broke me, called me diseased and perverted, said I was choosing sin over salvation. Ryan shared more painful details as we found a secluded bench. Dad constantly preaches traditional values and masculine roles. If he knew the truth about me, he'd disown me immediately. The job's exactly the same. Our department isn't remotely progressive about anything. We reached a quiet park, sitting close on a weathered bench, thighs touching. But with you, Alex, I finally feel completely authentic for the first time in years. His warm hand covered mine meaningfully, thumb stroking across my knuckles. A gentle kiss followed naturally, soft, tentative at first, then deeper as we melted into each other. His lips were warm, slightly chapped, tasting of coffee and possibility. When we pulled apart, both breathing harder, I rested my forehead against his. This is completely new territory for both of us, I whispered, studying his face. And absolutely terrifying, but it feels more right than anything ever has. Back home, the day's normalcy returned, but underlying sexual tension built steadily between us. Every casual touch, passing coffee, reaching for the same book, felt charged with meaning. My phone buzzed loudly, breaking the spell, a text from an unknown local number. Fags aren't welcome in this neighborhood, we're watching. My blood ran cold with fear. Look at this threatening message. I showed Ryan immediately, my hand trembling. His face hardened with protective anger. This directly ties to last night's incident, not a random break-in attempt, targeted hate crime against you specifically. He radioed the station immediately, reporting the threatening message with professional efficiency. We'll investigate this thoroughly and find these bastards. As evening fell ominously, another devastating twist. Ryan's phone rang loudly, his father calling unexpectedly. Son, I heard disturbing rumors you're hanging around with that new homosexual guy. What's going on exactly? Ryan paled visibly, moving away from me. Just helping a local resident with a break-in, Dad, nothing more. Don't lie to me directly, Ryan. People say he's, you know what he is. Stay away immediately. It'll ruin your reputation and career completely. The call ended abruptly, leaving heavy silence. Ryan slumped, defeated, running hands through his hair. See, condemnation from my own father without even knowing the truth. I pulled him close, feeling his body shake. You're not alone anymore. We'll face this together, whatever comes. That night we discussed strategy seriously while sitting intimately close on the couch. I need to come out eventually, Ryan said, his hand resting on my thigh, but fear absolutely holds me back from taking that step. Mark's betrayal taught me something important. Living truthfully is worth the inevitable pain and consequences. We shared stories of unrequited love, my teenage crush on a straight friend who never knew, crushed by societal norms, Ryan's hidden feelings for a fellow officer, never voiced aloud for fear of consequences. The conversation grew heated, passionate. I've never wanted someone the way I want you, Ryan admitted roughly, his hand cupping my face. It terrifies me. Our second kiss was hungrier, desperate with suppressed longing. His hands tangled in my hair as I explored the strong column of his throat. We pulled apart reluctantly when things threatened to go further. We should slow down, I whispered, though every fiber wanted more. Process everything happening. Sleep came easier together, spooned close on the comfortable couch, finding comfort in intimate proximity. His arm wrapped around me protectively, his breath warm against my neck. Morning brought renewed resolve and determination. Over strong coffee, Ryan said, "Let's trace that threatening text. The station's tech unit can help identify the sender." We drove there together, and I noticed how he unconsciously positioned himself protectively near me. Colleagues eyed us suspiciously, whispers circulating freely about the civilian Ryan kept bringing around. One officer pulled Ryan aside privately. "Be careful, Thompson. Don't let this situation drag down your career." The obvious prejudice only fueled our growing determination to fight back. Tech specialists traced the threatening text to local teenagers, known troublemakers with documented homophobic records and parents who encouraged their hatred. "They're definitely the ones who scratched your window," Ryan confirmed grimly, his hand briefly touching my lower back. Teenage prank escalated to hate crime with adult encouragement. Arrests followed swiftly and efficiently. The teenagers, heavily influenced by intolerant parents, faced serious criminal charges that would follow them into adulthood. But deeper investigation revealed more troubling connections throughout the small community. The hate wasn't remotely random. It was carefully orchestrated by someone with detailed knowledge. Someone had been deliberately feeding information about my personal history to these kids, someone who knew intimate details. The realization hit hard. Mark's vicious betrayal had followed me across state lines, spreading like poison through social media into this supposedly safe community. Ryan's anger was absolutely palpable, protective instincts flaring. "This ends right now. No one hurts you while I'm around." The arrests unveiled deeper layers of systematic betrayal that cut to my core. Intensive interrogations revealed the teenagers had specifically targeted me after hearing malicious rumors from Mark. My vindictive ex had spread detailed lies online deliberately, stirring up local hatred against me. "He said you deserved everything coming to you, that you corrupted him," one confessed, avoiding my eyes. Fury mixed intensely with hurt, old wounds reopening. Mark's unrequited revenge continued lingering like poison. Ryan supported me through difficult police statements, his hand constantly on my back, steadying me. "This ends right now," he promised fiercely. But conflict escalated dramatically when Ryan's father confronted him directly at the station, voice echoing through the building. "You're defending that perverted lifestyle choice. You're my son. Act like a man." Ryan stood straighter, jaw set with determination. "Dad, I'm gay too, have been my entire life." The admission stunned everyone within earshot. "No, you're confused by that deviant. Get professional help immediately or don't come home." Rejection hit hard, echoing my own family strife perfectly. Ryan left completely shaken, and I held him in the parking lot while he trembled. Years of hiding my truth, and this is what I get. We returned home together, bodies pressed close for comfort. "Society condemns us for being authentic," I said, running fingers through his hair, "but we fight back together." He nodded, resolve building steadily despite the pain. The department investigated internally. Homophobic colleagues faced mandatory sensitivity training, some formally reprimanded for creating hostile environments. A shocking twist emerged. One teenager's parent, a prominent community leader, tried desperately covering up their child's involvement, but evidence mounted overwhelmingly. Exposed publicly, they faced severe backlash, losing political influence completely. Ryan's personal struggle peaked emotionally. Losing family hurts like hell, but pretending to be straight hurts infinitely more every day. We attended a support group that evening, local LGBT folks sharing stories of self-acceptance amid condemnation. Hearing others' courage bolstered us, and Ryan's hand never left mine throughout the meeting. Back home, vulnerability deepened into something more intimate. Thank you for staying with me through all this chaos, I said, standing close in the kitchen. You're worth fighting for. Our hands linked again, but this time he pulled me closer, kissing me deeply against the counter. His body pressed against mine, solid and warm and wanting. Ryan, I breathed against his lips, hands fisting in his shirt. I need you to know how I feel, he whispered roughly, trailing kisses down my throat. You're not just comfort, you're everything I've been afraid to want. We moved to the couch, touching, becoming more urgent, desperate. Shirts disappeared, skin meeting skin as months of loneliness dissolved under gentle caresses. Nothing rushed, just profound connection and growing heat between us. Are you sure? I asked, studying his flushed face. Never been more certain of anything, he replied, pulling me down for another searing kiss. The next morning brought court proceedings formally. Teenagers pled guilty to hate crime charges, sentenced to extensive community service at LGBT centers, learning empathy through direct exposure. Their parents attended mandatory workshops, facing social consequences as neighbors distanced themselves. Ryan's father called later, voice strained but not hostile. I don't understand this, but don't disappear completely from my life. A sliver of unexpected hope. Through everything, our bond grew stronger, mutual support against stereotypes, physical comfort, emotional intimacy. Gay men aren't threats to anyone, we're resilient survivors, Ryan said, kissing my shoulder as we lay entwined. Evening walks became routine, hands linked openly despite stares, tension easing as gradual acceptance spread subtly through town. The legal victories felt hollow without family acceptance, but we were building something entirely new: chosen family, community support, authentic intimate relationships. Ryan's courage at the station inspired other closeted officers to examine their situations. Change was slow but measurably visible. Look at this, he showed me a comprehensive memo about new department policies protecting LGBT officers and citizens. It's a real start toward equality. My own healing progressed steadily through professional therapy. Sessions helped process Mark's betrayal, my family's rejection, building healthy relationship patterns. Trauma doesn't define your worth, my counselor emphasized. How you respond and grow does. Ryan attended some sessions willingly, learning to support me better emotionally. I want to understand everything about you, he said earnestly. Your pain, your incredible strength, your dreams, all of it matters. One evening, sorting through old photographs, I found pictures of Mark and me, happier times before betrayal destroyed everything. Instead of anger, I felt sad for what we'd lost, what internalized fear had destroyed completely. He was scared too, probably, I told Ryan honestly. Doesn't excuse his cruelty, but maybe explains the desperation. Ryan studied the photos thoughtfully, arm tightening around me. Fear makes people incredibly cruel sometimes. I'm grateful you're past that darkness. Resolution came gradually in meaningful waves of change. The teenagers completed their community service at the LGBT center, one even apologizing personally with genuine remorse and tears. We were completely wrong about everything. Ignorance and family hatred fueled us, but meeting people like you showed us the truth. Changed perspectives offered genuine hope for generational improvement. Ryan's department implemented comprehensive inclusivity policies after thorough review, colleagues gradually warming, some even admitting past biases openly and seeking education. His father reached out tentatively, attending a family counseling session despite discomfort. Not full acceptance yet, but definite progress toward understanding. I love you, son. I'm genuinely trying to understand your life. My family remained distant and cold, but I found deep peace in self-acceptance finally. No more hiding from who I was or apologizing for existing authentically in the world. Ryan and I committed openly, public dates, shared dreams, building a real life together despite obstacles. Our physical relationship deepened naturally, passionate nights balanced with tender morning intimacies. Love can bloom beautifully from betrayal's ashes, I said, referencing lost hopes now renewed magnificently. One evening, under brilliant stars on our back porch, he spoke of permanent commitment while tracing patterns on my bare chest. Despite condemnation, harassment, family rejection, we've not just survived but thrived together. We embraced hopefully, skin warm against skin in the cooling night air. The struggle persisted in society, but so did our resilience and growing love. Others' judgment faded against our truth and connection. In Elmwood, whispers gradually turned supportive as visibility created understanding. We volunteered regularly at the LGBT Center, helping others fight stereotypes and find accepting community. The perpetrators faced lasting consequences. teenagers genuinely reformed through service, parents humbled by social ostracism and reflection. The community leader who tried covering everything up lost his elected position, credibility destroyed completely by exposure. Mark's vicious online harassment campaign was thoroughly traced and prosecuted by cybercrime specialists. He faced serious charges for cyberstalking across state lines, his attempts to destroy my life backfiring spectacularly in court. The judge issued a permanent restraining order, finally severing his toxic influence from my life completely. "Justice served properly," Ryan said as we left the courthouse hand in hand. "He can never hurt you again." But healing went infinitely deeper than legal victories or public vindication. Months of therapy, support group meetings, and Ryan's unwavering love had rebuilt my emotional foundation completely. I wasn't the broken, terrified man who'd fled to Elmwood. I was stronger, more authentic, surrounded by chosen family and genuine acceptance. The house where everything began became our true sanctuary. We renovated together lovingly, erasing traces of those fearful first weeks while creating new memories. The window where scratching had started my nightmare now looked out on a garden we'd planted together, roses blooming magnificently despite harsh weather conditions. "Metaphor much," Ryan teased affectionately, catching me admiring them while pressed against his side. "Sometimes life writes itself poetically," I laughed, turning in his arms for a lingering kiss. Our relationship deepened far beyond crisis bonding or shared trauma. We discovered profound compatibility in small daily things, Sunday morning routines involving lazy bedtime, shared books and discussions, quiet evenings planning futures once deemed impossible. Love had found us in absolute darkness, but it flourished brilliantly in growing light and acceptance. Ryan's courageous coming out inspired others throughout his department significantly. 3 more officers privately approached him, grateful for his visibility and strength. The culture shift was gradual but measurably positive. Discriminatory jokes stopped completely, sensitivity training improved dramatically, protective policies ensured everyone's safety equally. "Real change happens one honest conversation at a time," he reflected thoughtfully after a particularly good day at work. My own career flourished once I stopped hiding my authentic self. Remote graphic design work allowed complete authenticity without professional compromise. Clients appreciated my honesty and creativity, no longer constrained by defensive postures or fear. A year later, we hosted the support group's anniversary celebration in our transformed backyard. Faces I'd first met in crisis now radiated confidence, had found loving families, achieved dreams once thought completely impossible. "Look how incredibly far we've all come together," said David, the young man we'd helped after his parents' brutal rejection. He was now happily engaged, his supportive fiancée beaming beside him proudly. Stories like his filled the celebratory evening: triumph over trauma, love conquering fear, community supporting growth. Our own difficult journey had catalyzed something much larger, a ripple effect of courage spreading throughout the conservative community. As guests departed warmly, Ryan and I cleaned up under the same brilliant stars where he'd first spoken of our future together. "Any regrets about this wild journey?" he asked playfully, pulling me close. "None whatsoever. The betrayal led directly to us, to purpose, to home." We went inside, house full of memories both painful and beautiful. The scratching that had once terrified me now seemed like destiny's necessary knock, harsh but essential, breaking open my isolation to let transformative love and community enter completely. Hope lingered powerfully in every room, in every brave choice to be authentic despite social costs. Our story bore permanent scars but radiated hard-won strength, proving that even the deepest betrayals couldn't destroy the resilient human capacity for growth, healing, and transformative love conquering darkness.